Well, Luke, not the way you wanted it to go tonight, but pretty good run of 7 games in a row. Just in your mind, kind of, what was the disconnect tonight? What were some of the things that you were looking at to get better in the third period and hopefully come back?
No, I thought Ferris, they played hard. They played direct. They got on the power play. They scored their goals when they needed to. I thought they got to inside ice. And all that being said are things that we haven't not taken care of. Our last regulation loss was the first game of the year. That's a long time ago. Now, that is unrepeatable, what had just happened. So whether it's individual or team or coach or whatever it is, it can't happen.
Is the flow of the game hard to get into when there's so many penalties, kind of lined up in a row for both teams?
Yeah. I mean, there's probably some rhythm to it, but you score on those opportunities, and it feels like the rhythm they had versus the rhythm we had. So they were able to put some pucks in, and we didn't on special teams. And the unfortunate part about that was, people can say you need a spark or whatever, but you got to go win races and spaces and battles and stay in and on battles and not. We were convenient when we didn't. We shouldn't have been convenient.
How frustrating was that third period knowing that you're starting to get some chances generated and they're just blocking everything in sight?
Yeah, I mean, kind of a wounded dog hunts best type thing. So, the unfortunate part for me was like we just showed some things there that were raw, and I like the fact we had to go through adversity and we got to find the better side of what we did. But it's frustrating. I mean, you get some early looks there. Maybe that spark is what you needed in the beginning of the third, and you move forward. But we didn't. And as the game kept going, you got to make an uncomfortable back, and I don't think we did a good job that way.
What's it going to take to just flush this out and get ready for Augustana next week?
Yeah, there's some things to learn from tonight. I think individually standpoint for sure. There are no victims here, so we got to move on that part and make sure we're getting it onto that. And we obviously, I feel we saved some energy, so we get some legs to use up here early in the week to make sure we're competitive and maybe get some bodies back too. That could be a bonus.
Just how frustrating was it today, just in general? Because it just seemed like there are a lot of passes that normally you guys make just felt off or bouncing off sticks. Just how could you cope with kind of that frustration the game?
That was
today?
the disconnect for me. That was the frustration. I mean, you go up and down the rink, and we've been clicking at a pretty good connectivity rate, and I just didn't find that. And the part that groups winning teams find is you got to win when you don't have your A game, and tonight we didn't have an A game, and then we didn't really dig into the whole will to make sure that we won.
You're trying to get back into the game, pulling the goalie at that particular time. Is that a calculated thing that hey, we're down 3 goals, this is when we want to try to do it?
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not comfortable as a coach to pull your goalie with 5 minutes left, but that was the situation in the bed that we made. So I thought those guys did a nice job, but it's the same thing. Like, man, it's easy to fight back when you're, it's that old heart of a wrestler. Like, they got you the pin to the mat, you find a way to get off the mat. We shouldn't have to take that to get going. We played good hockey there, but that's after the fact.
Does this make the first game Friday night against Augustana even more important, or is it just back to the draw or back to what you were doing before?
There's both. I mean, for me, it's a slip. Like we were up a sand hill and we slid back down, and that's you got to keep fighting and climbing. We got to do it together. Sure, is there urgency? Did we put a little more onus on ourselves? We sure did, but I don't know scores from tonight. I don't want scores. So, but for us to dig in and make this series count, I mean, the light at the end of the tunnel is there, and you can't hope your way through the end of it.
In my career, I've seen teams kind of have this kind of game where it just seems like nothing can go right. Kind of think about it, too, in different angles. It's a good thing it probably happened in December and not happened in March.
Yeah, it's got to be, lessons are as much as you learn from them, right? So if you don't learn from them and they come back and nip you again, then that's not good. But I do feel that we haven't really had this happen to us. And the craziest part about it is that's a pretty long stretch of games. So we'll find some good sides of this, but we got to make sure it's just not something we repeat.
Thank you.
Thanks.